Welcome to Magic on Tap, the Magic the Gathering and Beer Review podcast. I'm Jack.
And I'm Xavier.
And today we're pitching about... Sorry, I forgot that the document said insert target of current bitch session here. And today we're talking about Markov's at Karlov Manor, whatever it's called. What's it called?
Yeah, we're talking about Clue Magic.
Clue Magic?
Hasbro.
There are actual clue cards, too.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But first, we got to get to the untap step.
Yes. Well, we got to talk about our beers.
Oh, yeah. Do we have a theme?
No.
Hell yeah. Well, we have beers, so yeah, we're doing the... Oh, yeah. Shit, we have to drink. The barkeep upkeep. We haven't done this in a long time. Our one listener, Bear.
Bear.
It's my dog. Yeah, so Jack, what are you drinking? Or what are you pouring?
I have a brown ale from a fairly new brewery in Rock Hill. If you're not from North Carolina, you don't know where the fuck that is, so whatever. It's from Off the Tracks, and I have a crowler of it, so this is probably going to be the only thing that I'm drinking.
We'll see.
What do you got?
Okay. Today I'm in an Eagle Park Brewing Company hoodie with an Eagle Park Brewing Company glass, so it's only fair that I am drinking an Eagle Park Brewing Company beer. I have the Dual Needler, which is
what?
7% West Coast style IPA. That it's a spruce tip IPA.
Oh, yeah.
I like a good spruce tip. So.
Yeah. I have a shirt from some Alaskan brewery for their spruce tip ale.
Hell yeah.
Shit.
So first sips, how's she tasting?
Well, this kind of has a lot of head on it when I poured it in the glass, so hold on.
Just drink through the head.
You
gotta get past the head to get to the good stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I don't know if I would immediately say that it's a brown ale just like on a blind taste test. It's a little bit different, but I kind of appreciate that. Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Cool. How new is this brewery?
2021.
Okay, so they've been around long enough. I didn't know if this opened within the last couple months or something, because that makes a huge difference too. People's beer always changes after the first year or so, because you have to get used to your system and everything.
It definitely does make a difference, and usually the beer gets a lot better after, 8 or 9 months.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, mine's good. I've had it before. Like I said, I like a good spruce tip IPA. I will say this is a lot cloudier than I was hoping it would be, but that could also have to do with this can probably being a little bit older by now. It's a little long in the tooth, but it's still drinking really good. And it's literally got a fucking Christmas tree with needlers from Halo on it. So, and the needles are flying around the can and hitting itself in the back, which is pretty good.
That is good. I like that.
Yeah.
I think I might know why this is a little bit weird to me. And it might also be weird because this isn't a crowler, because I think it's a little overcarbed, which seems weird for it being in a crowler, but I think that's why.
Purge it? Did they purge it with CO2?
Maybe. I don't know. My girlfriend actually picked this up for me.
Nice.
Which is very nice, and I love her. So,
yeah,
okay.
some crowler people have some people that do crowlers have like a CO2 purge. So what they'll do is they'll spray like CO2 into the bottom of the crowler first because it's denser than oxygen. So then when you add the beer, it'll push the CO2 up and it'll push any remaining oxygen out of the can. That's like kind of the idea behind it. Mm-hmm. So I guess if they purge the shit out of it, maybe there's a chance it carbed it up, or they just overcarbed it to begin with, which is probably more likely than anything.
Yeah. One of those probably happened. I think it's not a bad beer, though.
Cool.
But, well... Oh, God.
So now I
might give a second opinion later on. Anyway, Now we can move on to the Untapped step. In case you don't know, Untapped is like Yelp for beer. So we go on there and make fun of people. So Xavier, what you got?
So for the Untapped step, my first review for the Needler is coming from Mike, who's checking this in from at home. He's giving it a 4.2 out of 5, so that is 420 out of 5. Blaze it, and he says, great Chinook taste, not at all fishy, and I can't tell if that's sarcastic or not.
What?
I don't know if Chinook is famous for tasting like fish, but that's crazy. And it's not a fish IPA as far as I know.
Oh my God! Wait, dude. Stop recording. We gotta write this down. Fish IPA.
Next, I have Darlene D, who's checking this in from Fringe Beer Works, which I'm assuming is a bottle shop. She gave it 4 out of 5 stars. She said, "Love it, hop it hard." And I don't know if that's a thing people say, or she's trying to make it be a thing. It's like fetch isn't working. Stop trying to make fetch a thing. Yeah. And then the last one is from Pete D, checking this in at the Ingleside Hotel. The Ingleside is a big ass hotel and water park in like down south Wisconsin. And he says, nieces and nephews, water park adventure, 4 out of 5 stars. He's just slugging big boy IPAs while his kids are running around in the pool, and it's great. That's pretty Wisconsin. All right, that's all I got. So what do you got?
I've got my first one here from Neil at Off the Tracks in their tap room. Said, gave it 4.2, blaze it. I assume it's 4.2. I don't like the stars on here. Anyway, he said, no amber, so had the brown ale, really nicely smooth. Graham had the stout, which was also very good. Had the engineer pizza, really good. So everything was really good, but it was a 4.2.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and so I read that one out just to highlight, like, fucking, if everything is great, just give it 5 stars. Because, like, I agree that the 5-star rating system is fucking dumb, but as long as, like, we're basing all this shit on whether you have 5 stars or less, it's like, just give it 5 stars. This one is actually worse. The next one is from SC Beer Dude. Gave it 4.9 stars.
Ugh.
And said fantastic brown. That's worse.
I hate the 4.9. Just why? That's just someone that doesn't believe in a 5-star beer.
Oh, nothing's perfect.
Shut up, idiot.
Fuck you, Jesus Christ.
Crazy.
I hate that shit. Last one is from Jim, who gave it 3.9 and said, oh, actually, it's 3.7, and you'll see how I know in a second. He said, solid brown, but for me, most brown ales are overall thin, 3.7.
Oh. There you go.
So you don't like brown ales.
Yeah.
And then you felt the need to also put your fucking rating in the description.
Yeah. Thank God we read it, though.
Yeah.
I was wanting to know what he really thought.
Yeah. Oh, God. Untapped is a fucking trash heap. Anyway.
Yep.
That's all I got. So let's move on to the first main.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about, murders at Karlov Manor. I will keep wanting to say Markov Manor. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah. Every time.
Thoughts? What do you think?
I don't know. This one feels like one of those sets that is just, I know it exists, but it's just like a big fucking ball of fuzz in my brain. I don't know. Like, it's just very amorphous to me.
Yep. It also feels very much like its own thing. It almost feels like it could have been a set like Conspiracy, where it was almost self-contained and it had a lot of mechanics that only mattered when you play in the set. Like, I don't care about fucking, what is it, examine or whatever.
Oh,
Collect evidence.
Yeah,
X.
collect evidence.
I hate it. I mean, I don't want to do, like, there's all this disguising is like weird morph, and then there's collecting evidence, and it's just, I don't know, man. It just is weird.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I do like the cases, because I like the different iterations of like the saga format on enchantments.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But most of it's just like, there are a few cards that I actually love, but most of it, yeah, I'm just like, I don't know.
And nothing is really, really jumping out at me in this set as something that's, with the exception of Crime Novelist, obviously, like, we can just talk about that right away.
Yeah.
Two
The
colorless.
best boy.
Yeah, 2 colorless and a red for a 1/3 Goblin Bard. So another Bard for Bard Tribal one day. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on Crime Novelist and add red mana. 1 red mana. That's fucking crazy. All your treasures immediately net you 1 mana of any color and also a red mana.
Fucking insane. Why would they do that? Or better yet, like gold tokens. I think there's only one card that makes gold tokens, but
yeah,
it's used in a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
and it's red.
And then you pair that with Krenko, Baron of Tin Street, 2 colorless. And first of all, they did every new iteration of Krenko is just doing my boy so dirty. Like, can we go back to the mob boss days when he was just like a true goblin, and now he's got a fucking neck beard and shit?
Yeah.
Like, who are they drawing this after?
Yeah, they really did him dirty on that.
Yeah, so anyway, Krenko, Baron of Tin Street, 2 colorless on a red for a 3/3 legendary creature goblin. He has haste. Tap, sacrifice an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on each goblin you control. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay red mana. If you do, you pay 1 red, whatever, 1 red. If you do create a 1/1 red goblin creature token, it gains haste until end of turn. So, you literally can tap him, sack a creature, put a 1/1 counter on each goblin you control, and then if you have Crime Novelist out, you get another 1/1 counter on Crime Novelist, and then you add a red mana, and then you can use that red mana that was created by Crime Novelist to make the 1/1 fucking goblin creature token.
Which will actually become a 2/2 because
yes,
in the order that things resolve, Krenko's ability will go on top before you actually create. Let me double check on that, but
well, it would be the bottom of the stack, right?
Yeah, so like you tap Krenko, sack an artifact, his ability goes on the stack, and then Crime Novelist's ability goes on the stack. And so I think you could just order them in whatever way you want.
Yeah,
you control them. So then you could just have Krenko's ability to create a goblin resolve first, and then you
would want Crime Novelist, so you get the mana, and then you want Krenko's ability to make the goblin, and then you want buffing right. The goblins.
Yeah, that.
Yes. So, that's a nice little standard goblin. I do love when goblins are in standard, though. It always cracks me up.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's the only time I ever want to play standard is when they just printed a shitload of goblins that have Goblin Tribal, and then I just want to play standard so I can just play mono red goblins and just everyone will hate me. I love Krenko's Buzz Crusher, which is hilarious. I like to think they meant, I know it's an Insecthopter, but I like to think he just is like harshing everyone's mellow. Like you could recall it Krenko's Vibe Checker. It's 2 colorless and a red for a 4/4 Insecthopter, which is crazy. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? It's a flying trample. When it enters the battlefield for each player, destroy up to 1 holy shit. 1 non-basic land that player controls for each land destroyed this way. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. That's pretty good. It is approachable, not heinous land destruction because you're replacing something, but it could also get rid of a pretty good problem land that someone has in the form of a non-basic, like come in and blow up somebody's fucking Cabal coffers and they can only get a swamp out of it. It seems pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. There are a lot of good targets for that, so I could see this getting play.
Yeah, and it's also an Insectopter. I mean, it's 4 for a 4/4 with flying, trample, and red, so that's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, even without its land destruction ability, it seems just pretty good.
Right. It opens up some more evasiveness for decks that don't always get it, because unless you're running dragons or whatever, but I mean, it could help fuck up somebody's tempo if you're playing mono red goblins and you start to run out of gas or something.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's an interesting one. I would love to see more of Krenko's belongings anyway. I really want a Tin Street land, and it drives me crazy that there isn't one.
I know.
Like, let it, like, tap for goblins or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Or, like, search your library for a goblin and look at it. There is 10th Street Market, which is an enchantment, but yeah.
Anyway, I mean, we can talk about the clue items. There's one of like every one of the original weapons from the Clue board game that were printed as magic cards, with the exception of the revolver. So they have one in every color, and then there's just no revolver. They could have made it a colorless artifact, and they didn't because they're cowards. But the more we talk about it, the more I realize I don't think I've ever seen a single gun printed as a thing in Magic before.
Oh, I think there are some cards with guns in the art.
In the art, but not like from what I have seen, there's never been a gun, straight up a gun, equipment before, which is weird, and I wonder if that's going to change when we get to this Wild West bullshit.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Sometimes I feel like Magic is just becoming Ratatouille when they take French Fatty and they just start reskinning him as different, like, frozen food items. Or like, what if it was Magic but the West? What if it was Magic but, like, Clue the board game?
Yeah, I can't wait for Barbie.
Is that a thing?
No.
Oh.
Well, eventually it will be.
I don't necessarily know if I hate it. You could get some merfolk out of it.
Merfolk?
I guess, wasn't there was like a mermaid Barbie.
Yeah, there was. Also, I don't know if this counts, but Arc Spitter from what's it called? New Capenna is technically a gun, but it's like an electricity gun, and that's an equipment.
Okay. Yeah, but that's what I mean. They're like plasma cannons. They're not like, this is a fucking Glock.
This is an M1911.
I like Night Drinker Moroi or whatever from this set. It's not got anything to do with his ability. He's a 3 colorless and a black for a 4/2 flying vampire. When he enters battlefield, you lose 3 life, and then he's got Disguise for 2 black. Disguise, so we can just talk about it a little bit, says you may cast this card face down for 3 colorless as a 2/2 with Ward 2. Turn it face up anytime for its Disguise cost, so it's like Morph, but it's got Ward on it. I mostly like him for his name because Night Drinker just sounds like me when I wake up at like 3 in the morning and I need some Wawa because my mouth is dry.
Oh, you need some Wawa. I'm thirsty.
Hey, but yeah, what do you got? I've been yammering for a long time, so what are your thoughts?
Well, you want to talk about Private Eye first?
Yeah, I mean, Private Eye is fucking hilarious. It's literally like the best card printed in this set. It's Detective Tribal. Yeah, it's a colorless, a blue, and a white for a homunculus detective. So another homunculus added to the collection. There is not enough for tribal yet. I've looked. It is.
I did too.
It's a 3/3. Other detectives you control get +1/+1. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target detective can't be blocked this turn. That's cool. The best thing about him is his flavor text that just says... So, for context, he's holding a magnifying glass with a bunch of different, like, narrowed down magnifying glasses, like Junie and Spy Kids 2 when his, like, glasses flip down. And he's looking at a vase. And the flavor text just says, "Yep, it's a vase, all right."
So good.
Yeah, and get it. He's a private eye because he's a homunculus, so he has one eyeball.
Yes, he has an eye.
An eye for an eye makes you a homunculus. What
I
is
guess, like, eye tribal? You could maybe make
homunculus? I thought about it.
Yeah, just like expand it a little bit to be eye and homunculus.
There's still not a good commander for it, but...
Well, no, there's never going to be a good commander for it. Well, I won't say never. There's definitely not. But, like, there's not really a great commander for Viashinos either, and I've got that.
That's true. You know, I don't know. They just made I feel like they made a tribal not that long ago that I was like, damn, they finally did it, huh? Oh, no, it wasn't a tribal. It was the weird Clash commander that got printed in this set.
Yeah. Yeah, it got printed in the commander cards, though.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even look at those. I just know it exists. It's an octopus that does Clash things.
What? Well, go on.
I don't know. I don't have it pulled up.
Oh. Well, while you do that, one of my favorite cards is definitely Pride of the Whole Clade, or the Pride of Whole Clade.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun one.
Oh, my God, dude. 10 and a green for a 2/15 crocodile elk turtle. And the art is as incredible as the creature types make it sound. Costs X less to cast, where X is the total toughness of creatures you control. It has Defender, and then for 2 and 2 blue, until end of turn, target creature you control gets +1/+0, gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to its toughness, and can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Which is just, like, ridiculous. Like, you give your Defender +1, and then say, have at it, bud. See if you can hit him. Oh, my God. It's just, I love him. I really want to build that commander deck, but I don't think it would be very good.
It could be.
I don't know. Are there any defenders with flying, actually? That might be good.
There definitely are.
Nice thought.
Okay, Marvo Deep Operative is the Clash Octopus.
It's a beep operative.
Dude, I was looking at the Meep. Have you seen this card before? This is totally unrelated, but I don't know what the fuck it's from, but it's hilarious as a card. It's like a secret layer drop, and it's just the Meep, and it's a legendary creature alien. Is it some like Doctor Who shit?
I think it is some Doctor Who shit.
Okay, it's 2 colorless and a black for a 0/4 with Ward 3 or Ward pay 3 life. Whenever the Meep attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, creatures you control have base power and toughness XX until end of turn, where X is the sacrificed creature's mana value. I don't know. That's really funny to me. Anyway, back to the Clash Octopus. Marvo Deep Operative is a 5, so 3 green and holy shit, I'm having a stroke. 3 colorless, blue and a black for a 1/8. 8 because it's got 8 fucking legs. Legendary creature, Octopus Rogue. Whenever Marvo Deep Operative attacks clash with defending player, each clashing player reveals the top card of their library, then puts that card on the bottom or top. A player wins if their card had a higher mana value. So you basically get to weird scry, and then usually when you win a clash, something happens, and Marvo says whenever you win a clash, draw a card. Then you may cast a spell from your hand with mana value 8 or less without paying its mana cost, because it's an octopus.
Thank you for the clarification.
And it's Octopus Rogue, so it weirdly, like, you could do some rogue tribal bullshit with this.
Oh my god, it's like even worse because of that.
It's an octopus as well, so it's playable in, serpent, octopus, leviathan decks. It's Clash has always been a mechanic that I really like that Mark Rosewater fucking hates. It's like,
yeah, he told us that in person that he hates it.
Yeah. He's quoted as saying that Clash was a failure as a mechanic, but like a thin margin of Magic players are obsessed with it, so they made this card to make people shut the fuck up.
Us.
And if I had to wager, I have not looked into it at all, but I'm guessing that they printed 0 more Clash cards. It's just this one. But I run some Clash bullshit in like my mini games deck, and it's fun. It's something different too. Nobody knows what it is because nobody plays it. So it's always weird, man. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
So time to talk about the elephant in the room. Slime Against Humanity. I feel like this is probably one of the most talked about cards from the set. 2 and a green for sorcery. Create a 0/0 green ooze creature token with trample. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is 2 plus the total number of cards you own in exile and in your graveyard that are oozes or named Slime Against Humanity, and a deck can have any cards or any number of cards named Slime Against Humanity. I fucking love it. It's a stupid pun. It's like a weird effect. I just think this is great. This is just a win.
Yeah, I mean we all have as many of these cards in your deck as you want. Cards. I feel like I haven't seen one printed since Strixhaven with Dragon's Approach.
Yes. I think that was the last one.
They immediately get stupid expensive, even though they're almost always commons, because everyone just tries to buy up as many as they can.
Yeah, this card is $3.
Yeah, right, which is unheard of for what it is. And I love it too. It's great. I know that everyone's going to try and make this deck at some point in my playgroup, so I will be running cards specifically to ruin that whole strategy.
Yeah. Oh, Solemnity.
Oh, yeah. That would work. Oh, man.
That would work. Yeah. I think that's part of the fun is like building against the shit that you know everyone's going to be building.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been waiting to run this card as a commander for the longest time because it's like easily one of the least playable cards in Commander that has been printed in the last several years, and it was in Neon Dynasty, so I don't even know how long ago that was. It feels like it was fucking forever ago. Kodos, the Silent Spider, is 3 colorless, a blue and a black for a 4/4 legendary creature human ninja. When Kotos, the Silent Spider, enters the battlefield, exile target card other than a basic land card from an opponent's graveyard. Search that player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. Then that player shuffles. For as long as you control Kotos, you may play one of the exiled cards, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. So I could literally take every Slime Against Humanity card from someone's deck and then just play all of those myself.
Yeah. Also, when you said that player shuffles and then like started the next sentence for as long as you control, I think it's Kotose. But I'm not.
Yeah, that makes way more sense. Kodos is nothing.
Yeah, whatever.
You were saying that for as long as I control Kotose, they have to shuffle?
For as long as you control Kotose.
That's way better.
Print wizards, you cowards.
Yeah, what the fuck? Dude, there's a laundry heap in this set that's hilarious, and that's how you know they're just like giving up and it's becoming like Pokemon where they're just like, I don't know, what if like a pile of trash was a thing?
Yeah, lumbering laundry.
Yeah. 5 colorless for a 4/5. I've been looking at this card because you could put it in I'm Looking Respectfully. You can pay 2 colorless.
Oh my god, I can. Oh my god, I'm doing that right now.
You can pay 2 colorless, and until until end of turn, you may look at face down creatures you don't control anytime. So it only is good against like disguise and fucking morph or
it's not gonna
manifest.
Be good against anything. Like no one plays face down cards except for me. I play some.
Yeah, one of our friends just made a face down deck, didn't they?
Michael? Sounds like a Michael thing to do.
It does sound like a Michael thing. You're getting called out in this fucking podcast, dog.
The podcast he doesn't even listen to.
Yeah. Magnetic Snuffler is hilarious as a card, just because of the name. It sounds like some Dr. Seuss bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing crazy good in the set that leaps out at me like, ooh, boy, I really need it. There's exactly one card in here that I need, that I want for a deck I just built that we'll talk about later. And I might as well talk about the card now. It is Expedited Inheritance, which is a really funny thing because it's a guy sitting at a dinner table with a clearly murdered person at the other side of the dinner table.
And he looks like he's talking to him, too.
He does.
Like he's having a very in-depth conversation with this corpse.
Yeah. It's just 2 red pips, which is weird because it's an enchantment, and I feel like I just don't see that too much. That feels like a... You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why that's weird to me, but I usually don't see 2 red pips and nothing else in a Magic card. But whenever a creature is dealt damage, its controller may exile that many cards from the top of their library. They may play those cards until the end of their next turn. So that'll be going in a deck that I'm going to talk about later. And it's, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. But it notices, like, whenever a creature is dealt. So that's true for anyone.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It opens up some weird politics there that's kind of fun as well. And it's like a really cheap enchantment. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I have my hands on. And it's like $1, so I don't really care about it. The Surveil lands and stuff, everyone's like, well, buying a box is... I brought you land.
You get a bunch of Surveil lands, and I'm like, well, then I could just buy the Surveil lands that I actually want.
Yeah. There's just a lot of stuff in here that I'm like... We call wizards cowards a lot, but it just makes me think... Like, how are you going to print Massacre Girl and give her Wither and then not make any other Wither cards in the set?
I think that's kind of hilarious.
I guess it's funny, but it's also just like...
Yeah.
That was one of the first decks I fucking played against when I was playing Magic, was my buddy's older brother had a Wither deck, and it was just the meanest fucking thing you can imagine, because it just doesn't play like... It's like Infect without poison counters, and it was just so weird to deal with. So I guess it just like hurts my feelings, because I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah, Wither's back. They spoiled this card so early. And then that was it.
Just kidding. Fuck you.
Yeah. Menace and Wither. Hell yeah, dog. I'll say what she does. Massacre Girl. Holy shit. Massacre Girl, known killer, is 2 colorless, 2 black pips. Legendary creature, human assassin, 4/4 with menace. Creatures you control have Wither. So I guess it doesn't really need to be... You don't need more cards with Wither when this is giving everything Wither. They deal damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. So, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, with Wither, yeah, for sure. And then obviously with Commander, like fucking... Hey, all your shit has 0 toughness, actually. Get fucked.
Right. Also, you just throw it in a fucking... You got a goddamn Toxrill deck. You can stuff her in there, because you probably got Proliferate anyway, so... Seems pretty good.
I mean, there's, like, Defile and Reign of Filth, like, give everything -1/-1, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so... Yeah. Oh, no, that's not Reign of Filth.
Toxic Deluge.
Toxic Deluge, yeah. Like, yeah, there's just a lot of ways to take advantage of that. Oh boy, okay, I have 2 things I need to talk about kind of together. First is Leyline of the Guild Pact.
Yeah, very good. I will say that's a good card.
Holy shit. the mana cost is very weird. I don't know why it's 4 pips, not 5, but it's Selesnya, so green or white, and then all of them are like that. So green or blue, a black or a green, and then a red or a green. So you could just pay 4 green for it. For an enchantment, if Leyline of the Guild Pact is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. It's a Leyline, that makes sense. Each non-land permanent you control is all colors, and lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. Ooh. So, obviously, you can just tap your lands for whatever color you want, but also, what's that fucking enchantment that, like, costs 1 less for each basic land type among lands you control? From All Will Be One? I think it's All Will Be One.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
I'm going to find it. Oh, it's not All Will Be One. It's, what's the one that was before that?
There's so many sets, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
I do love Meddling Youths as a card, as you're looking that up, because it's very Scooby-Doo-esque. I mean, even the card art is Scooby-Doo-esque. It's somebody. Yeah. It's like 3 kids pulling a mask off of a guy that's committing a crime. It's 3 colorless, a red and a white for a 4/5 human detective haste. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, investigate. That's it. I just like it because it's Scooby-Doo. I wish they had just printed Scooby-Doo.
Just make a Scooby-Doo set, you cowards.
Just Scoobert Doobert.
Scoobert that Doobert.
All right. Leyline of the Guild Pack was clearly printed with the new Niv Mizzet Guild Pack kind of to go together. It is literally just Wooburg, so 1 of every color, 6/6 Dragon Avatar, flying hexproof or multicolored, which is interesting. Whenever Niv Mizzet Guild Pack deals combat damage to a player, it deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards, and you gain X life, where X is the number of different colored pairs among permanents you control that are exactly 2 colors. So, I don't even really know what that means. I think you need to, it literally needs to be only 2 colors for that to go off.
Yeah, I really don't need to build another 5-color deck, but I really want to.
Wouldn't Leyline automatically make that a non-bow because it would make them all colors, and that is not exactly 2 colors? Leyline of the Guild Pack.
Permanents, that's right.
They're all colors, yeah. It's not exactly 2 colors because they're all colors.
That is true. Yeah, that is kind of a non-bow, isn't it? And not kind of, it is. Oh, that sucks. So
Whatever.
Maybe they weren't designed to be together. But I really like Niv Mizzet a lot. This new Niv Mizzet. I mean, so the Niv Mizzet Reborn also did a 2-color thing. Right? So Niv Mizzet Reborn, just to read it out, is Wooburg, 6/6 flying dragon avatar. When Niv Mizzet Reborn enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each color pair, choose a card that's exactly those colors from among them, put them in your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, obviously these have to go together. But,
yeah. It would be fun to do.
Listener. Rawls, if you know anything about me, I have a lot of 5-color decks. And they're just making it harder on me because I really want to build this.
I feel like it gets to a point when you've made so many decks in Magic, you just kind of want them to always be all colors all the time. So I can really do whatever I want.
Yeah, I guess, but that also makes it harder because when you have access to all colors, it's like, well, I have to put this in because it's auto-include. And there's just so many cards like that now, which fucking sucks.
Yeah, I do think if you wanted to do 5-color, if you want to do Wooburg, Niv Mizzet, what are you saying? Niv Mizzet. I don't know why I always say it like that. Like, is it, but Mizzet. Niv Mizzet.
Right, yeah.
You could do fucking Niv Mizzet Tribal and the Wooburg ones would work really well with the Izzet ones.
Yeah.
You could do Wooburg Spellslinger with a Niv Mizzet tribal sub-theme.
And if you have, like, the charms and stuff.
Oh.
With Niv Mizzet Reborn, you get all those in your hand.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think about that. You could do... Oh, that sounds fun.
Maybe that's the way.
That sounds really fun. That's so weird. Oh, man. That's cool. That's a cool deck. Copyrighted. Nobody else can make that deck.
Just don't listen to this. Stop listening. You're not allowed to do it. Any other cards in here that you want to like specifically call out?
Not really, man. Like
Not one.
What?
No moles or anything.
Oh, I mean, the mole is obviously fantastic. No notes. I will say, like, this set is almost a bummer because I loved, like, Ravnica. I loved Return to Ravnica. Return to Ravnica came out not long after I was, like, really in the fucking thick of playing this. So I loved Return to Ravnica. I bought so much of that set, it was ridiculous. And now it's just like I see like Rakdos in this deck, and I used to be so scared of Rakdos, and I just don't give a fuck about Rakdos in this set at all. And it's just kind of it's interesting.
That is a good point. Rakdos, like, I think that people were complaining so much about Rakdos being so strong, and like, yeah, it was a little stronger, I think, than a lot of guilds, but they just kind of made it, okay, Rakdos is the kill your own shit and draw cards colors.
Right.
Like, it's not scary, guys.
Yeah. And I mean, they literally printed Rakdos, the Rakdos, like the fucking demon. And he's just, like, the other ones have been banned, and this one is just like, you know, whatever, who cares?
Oh, I'm gonna draw cards if you don't kill your shit. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, card draw is good, but also, if you're playing Rakdos, I feel like every time someone does sacrifice their shit, you're just gonna be disappointed. Because they're not gonna sacrifice anything good. They're gonna be like, oh, well, just draw 2 cards. I don't want to sack my good shit. So, anyone that is gonna sack is just gonna be like, oh, I have tokens.
Yeah, right. And, anyway, Mole God, hello, Anzrag, the Quake Mole, 2 colorless and Gruul, so green and a red, for an 8/4 legendary creature Mole God. Hell to the fuck to the yeah.
Yeah.
When Anzrag, the Quake Mole, becomes blocked, untap each creature you control. After this combat phase, there's an additional combat phase. You can pay, like, way too much mana. And Anzrag must be blocked each combat this turn if able. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So, if he was indestructible, it would just be like infinite attacks.
You just win.
Well, until they like until their creatures die.
That's true. Yeah, you would have to probably plan it out somehow, but. That
is, I'm gonna add this to my deck that I built. That we'll talk about later because
he doesn't hit like a kobold.
No, he does not. But if somebody has to infinitely like bash, like if I can make their creatures indestructible in addition to mine, and then we just have to infinitely slam heads together, like you could rack up so much damage doing that.
Yeah.
There's no combination that would make that happen, but it's interesting. Anyway, he's a fucking mole. They printed another mole in this set too, so that's 2.
Yeah. What is it? Mole fucking shit, I don't remember.
It's a mole scout.
Tunnel tipster. Yeah. Let's just read him out. He's 1 in the green, 1/1 mole scout. I love him. Oh my god, he's got this like little cloak with the hood up. Oh, At the beginning of your end step, if a face-down creature entered the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Tunnel Tipster, and then he can also tap for a green. So, like, if you're playing that kind of deck, he seems really good.
Otherwise, he's 2 for a 1/1 mana dork.
Yeah,
So,
which, like, you know, there are a lot better mana dorks, but not terrible.
Yeah, you know, whatever. If you got a Rega-Draga deck, fucking...
Rega-Draga.
I definitely need to make that deck, but I want to make it really competitive.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he's a cutie. I'm gonna go to my next untap step really quick because I don't know if you're drinking one or not.
I am halfway through what I got, so
cool. I'm drinking Potion from Tribus.
What?
Tribus.
Oh, damn, I was gonna say, how do I Google that?
Tribus Beer Company, Tribus. This is a beer donated to me from Cindy Lou, who is a regular at town. She's this very sweet, kind of kooky Australian teacher that stops at town after she's done teaching kids, and she slugs a bunch of beers, and she just decided to bring me like 20 beers that were all singletons. And it's great. So I have like no shortage of beers to try, and every single one of them's fucking weird. So I don't know what this is. It says it's a fruited sour. It's 6%. It leads me to believe it's an IPA because it has strawberry, passion fruit, and elixir listed on it. So I know elixir is a type of hop. We're gonna take a sip really quick. Let's see what it tastes like. Holy shit! Passion fruit immediately. That's crazy. It's good. It's I can probably have exactly one. I'm not a big sour guy, but I always like a weird sour. And yeah, it's definitely very good. I would enjoy it like if it was hotter out, I think. But great. I mean, I didn't have to buy it. The strawberry comes through pretty solid, and strawberry is always hard to show up in beer, I feel like, unless it's like really, really obviously artificial and stuffed in there. It's usually you'll notice like a lot of strawberry blondes because blondes aren't very overpowering with their malt bill anyway, and so the strawberry comes through a little bit more. In my opinion, I don't know anything about anything, but in my opinion, actually,
I don't know shit about fuck.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go to my untap step really quick. This is getting checked in from Jack M at Dockside Brewery, but it's not the Jack M that I'm on the podcast with.
Well, don't dox me.
Got him. This is 4 out of 5 stars. It is just says Dockside Dock Tiki, and that's it. And I think that's funny, and I don't really know why. And then our next check-in is from AA, which is hilarious. It seems like Alcoholics Anonymous. Check this in. Gave it 1.75 stars out of 5. And they said it's really, really, really bad. Tastes like feet smell.
Wow.
So they didn't like it. They must not know what sours are.
Just what
also, it's like passion fruit. It's kind of passion fruit, kind of grapefruity. I've always thought that like passion fruit and grapefruit kind of taste like BO. So I know what they're saying, but I also just think that's how that always tastes. So
yeah.
And I I have drank a lot of grapefruit juice, and I still think it like, wow. Now I'm doxing myself because this seems weird as fuck. I just like really like how sweat tastes is what it sounds like.
Well.
Anyway, we can't talk about this anymore. Back to the set. I'm done with it. I don't give a fuck about it at all. I like that there's a card called Nervous Gardener, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, moving on. Time for our second main. Hey, Xavier.
Yeah.
What you brewing?
Oh, boy. I'm brewing the deck that I've always wanted to make. And I'm not set on how I've built it so far, but we finally have a commander for it. If you listen to Game Nights, Josh Lee Quias talked about it before. I would like to note that I've been trying to build this deck before I realized he had been trying to build this deck, and then I was like, felt so vilified that he was also trying to build this deck.
Yeah.
And it's basically like punch myself in the face, see what happens deck. So we are building a Waita. I like to think it's like Waita. You know, like, hey, waiter! Can I get a drink over here? Waiter, trainer, prodigy. It is 1 red. It's Naya, so it's 1 red, 1 green, 1 white for a 1/5 human warrior with haste. You can pay 2 colorless and a green to tap Waiter. Target creature you control fights another target creature. This ability costs 2 less to activate if it targets 2 creatures you control. So then it just becomes like better Olenwald tracker where you pay a green and tap it and it fighted a creature. The really cool thing is the second ability, which is if a creature you control being dealt damage causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So, you know what would make Brash Taunter way better? If that shit triggered twice every time it happened. Oh my god, it's so fucking crazy, man. And it's just like, I got Domri Raid in here. Like, I got the OG Domri in here. Speaking of, like, that, I think he was from Gatecrash originally, or Ravnica. I can't remember which one he's from. But
I think Gatecrash, yeah.
Domri Raid. Yeah. Oh, Dragon's Maze was so good too. I'm a sucker. Everyone hated. Nobody likes Dragon's Maze either. Every set that I like, nobody else likes. Why is that? It's a color. Domri Raid is a colorless and Gruul, so green and red. Obviously, if anyone knows anything about Domri Raid, he is Gruul. That's all he is. And he got murked. He got fucking murdered.
He got super murdered. Yeah.
He's a Planeswalker, so he comes in with 3 loyalty. You can pay 1, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may reveal it and put it in your hand. You can -2 him to make a creature you control fight another target creature, so that's another way to make your shit fight each other. And then if you get him up to 7, which you're probably never going to do, you can -7 him, and you get an emblem with creatures you control have double strike, trample, hexproof, and haste, which is awesome. Shit. Yeah, all the things. And I just loaded this bad boy up with all the shits that when it take it a damage, it do it a thing. So very happy that Dinosaur Precon came out because Wada was actually the like pseudo commander, like your second choice for a commander in that deck. And they reprinted a lot of the dinosaurs that came out when the first Ixalan came out, and for whatever reason, dinosaurs just really cared about taking damage and then doing things. So we got some really great options in here, and that's why that Expedited Inheritance went in here. Because like whenever one of my creatures is dealt damage, I can exile like that many fucking cards from the top of my library and play them next turn. So it's a little impulse card draw, which this deck desperately needed. And I don't know. I just, like, there's Donna Noble in here from the fucking new Doctor Who set that cares about it. It's got Soul Bond, which is crazy. Remember that fucking mechanic?
Oh my god, yeah.
So Donna Noble, if you don't know, because if you don't like Doctor Who at all and you just ignore that whole set like I did, it is 3 colorless and a red for a 2/4, which is like whatever. It's a legendary creature human. It's got Soul Bond. You may pair this creature with another unpaired creature when either enters the battlefield. They remain paired for as long as you control both of them. Whenever Donna or a creature it's paired with is dealt damage, Donna deals that much damage to target opponent. And Doctor's Companion, you can have 2 commanders if the other is the Doctor. So like, whatever, it's not what this deck is about at all. Soulbound is weird, so if like your creature gets smoked, and then you play another creature, you can just immediately, like, Donna does not do well by herself. She is like a boyfriend girl where like she just always needs to be in a relationship. So something dies and a new creature enters, she's like, I think we're married now, and then you just like hang out with that guy. Very fun. I get to put Flumph in here, which I've always wanted to have a reason. It's a colorless and a white, and you've probably seen it before. Anyone? It's from Forgotten Realms. Colorless and a white for a 0/4 defender flying. It's a jellyfish. Hell yeah! Whenever Flumph is dealt damage, you and target opponent each draw a card. I get to put Grothama, all devouring the mean worm himself. Three colorless and 2 green pips for a 10/8. What? Legendary creature worm. Other creatures have, whenever this creature attacks, you may have it fight Grothama, all devouring. When Grothama leaves the battlefield, each player draws cards equal to the amount of damage dealt to Grothama this turn by sources they control. That doesn't matter. Imagine on attack, I swing with a Brash Taunter, and then real quick I have him take 10 damage, and that triggers twice, so I get to dish out 20 damage now to someone.
It's just, hey, fuck you.
Yeah. Hans Eriksson is in this because it just seemed right, and that's another fucking meme card. It's just like my dream deck, and I really want this to work well. It's never going to be... I had a different version of this without green in it. It was my original Rograk and Calith Sunmane deck, and that was way faster than this is ever going to be just because of the commanders, and it was Boros. So it's like, live fast, eat ass, and if you don't, you die. But we got some tricky stuff in here. I've always been I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I've always loved the Guilty Conscious Brash Taunter combo. Guilty Conscious is whenever enchanted creature deals damage, Guilty Conscious deals that much damage to enchanted creature. So you just you put it on Brash Taunter. Brash Taunter is indestructible. Whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to, I think it's just target opponent. No. Yeah, just to target opponent. So Guilty Conscience goes on there. Brash Taunter gets pinged for 1. Brash Taunter pings something for 1, and then because it hits something for 1, it takes 1 damage from Guilty Conscious, and then you see where it's going. It goes infinite, and it's really a nice little 2-piece combo that's very, very easy to do. Yeah, man, I don't know. I've fucked around with it a lot today already, trying to make it faster and make it work a little bit better, but I don't know. There's just some fun, weird little interactions. I put Chain Lightning in here, and I've never even thought to put Chain Lightning in a deck before, but it kind of makes sense in here because I can just keep chaining my own creatures and fucking smoking them over and over again, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that is actually really funny.
And it's gotten cheaper to build because, like I said, they reprinted a lot of those dinosaurs, and there is a lot of there's a good amount of dinosaurs in here that just got reprinted from Caverns of Ixalan from the Commander set. And I mean, they've reprinted Heroic Intervention from the Doctor Who set, so that got cheaper. Yeah, it's just I'm looking forward to building it and see how it goes. But that's all I got.
It seems really fun.
Yeah. So, hey Jack.
Yeah.
What you brewing?
Oh boy, I am brewing. You'll never guess, a fucking Slime Against Humanity deck. So, I was looking at different Slime Against Humanity decks, and I really liked the idea of one that I saw using Catilda and Lear, the team-up card.
Oh, yeah.
It is a green, a white, and a blue for a 3/3 legendary creature human. Whenever you cast a human spell, target instant or sorcery in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. So, I want a bunch of Slime Against Humanity in my graveyard, so I just have a bunch of humans. Most of them are... there are, a few ramp ones, like Avacyn's Pilgrim and fucking Noble Hierarch, because it's in my exact colors and stuff like that. I have a bunch of stuff other than that to basically just wheel. And the idea is wheel until I get enough in my graveyard and also enough reduction, cost reduction, to cast a bunch of them. because I've got what is it? Stuff like Baral, Chief of Compliance, which is a really annoying card, but I think that it has that reputation because people play it as a commander and then just counter everything.
Yeah.
He says instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less, so I want to make everything in my graveyard cost less. Archmage Emeritus, obviously it's blue, or the deck has blue, so I'm going to put him in there because whenever I cast an instant or sorcery, I draw a card. Sunscape Familiar, which I never really thought that I would put into a deck.
I know. I saw that too, and I was like, hell yeah. And Wood Sage.
Like, dude, I mean, green and blue spells cost 1 less. Yeah, Wood Sage. So, Wood Sage is funny. So, it's a green and a blue for a 1/1 human druid. You can tap it, name a creature card, reveal the top 4 cards of your library, and put all of them with that name in your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So, like, I can just name a creature. If it's in my deck, then... Or a creature in my deck, and if I pull that, then great. But otherwise, I'm just trying to get shit into my graveyard. What?
You say I noticed you only had 29 lands in this deck.
Yes, because I'm gonna be going through my deck pretty quickly. So, I'm gonna find the lands that I want. I think. I haven't done a ton of testing with it yet, but I think that I'm gonna be like wheeling so much that if I need lands, I can just put them into my hand, and then I don't have to worry about that.
That's
I do
true.
have some stuff like I have some tutors, Enlightened Tutor and Worldly Tutor, because just to make it a little bit more consistent. Enlightened Tutor I already have a copy of, so I was like, why not throw it in there? Feel the same way about Esper Sentinel, which is just a 1-drop human too, so that just really makes it better. I already have a copy of it, so might as well put it in here.
Yeah.
And then obviously token doublers, so Anointed Procession and Doubling Season. I considered putting in, what's the one that doubles tokens for everybody? I don't remember, but maybe it'll come to me.
Holy shit.
And then Greater Good, if I'm running low on card draw, well, hopefully I'll have a bunch of slimes. I can just sack them and draw like a third of my library.
Right. Do you have I'm surprised you don't have Conduit of Worlds in there.
I don't remember what that does.
It's like Crucible, but with another ability. It's 2 colorless, 2 green pips. For an artifact, you may play lands from your graveyard. Choose target. You can tap it. Choose target non-land permanent. Oh, it's permanent. That's why. Choose target non-land permanent card in your graveyard. If you haven't cast a spell this turn, you may cast that card. If you do, you can cast an addition. You can't cast additional spells. Activate it only as a sorcery. So it'd be funny to, like, if you had nothing else to do, if you could just cast like another fucking Slime Against Humanity from your graveyard that goes right back in the graveyard. But it's only permanents.
Yeah, that does kind of suck.
Anyway, Crucible might not be the end of the world if you get fucked
yeah,
up, but
I was thinking about it.
Splendid Reclamation, so
yeah, splendid Reclamation. I mean, yeah, I think all of my creatures in here are humans, so like I briefly thought about putting oh no, I have Wonder in here too because it gives all my creatures flying, so if it's in the graveyard.
Right.
But Ancient Green Warden also lets you play lands from your graveyard, so
Oh, that's right.
that was a thought, but it's just expensive. So, and this deck I think needs to be pretty fast because I am really relying on being able to recast those from my graveyard, and wheeling and everything is just like, because there are so many moving parts. I don't want stuff that costs like 6 mana in here.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, with What's His Nuts' ability, I'm surprised you don't have Dr. Doom in here. What's his name?
Lear.
Yeah, but he does some weird shit, right?
So spells can't be countered, and then you can cast instants and sorceries from your graveyard as if they had flashback.
Oh, okay, so it's not that weird. It's almost like what? Oh, Lear, Catilda and Lear. Jesus Christ, he's literally the other half of this card. So this is just a better version of the original Lear because he's way cheaper. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm dumb. Hello.
Like it's just
I was
fucking
confused because I'm always used to looking at Dr. Doom Lear, so I just forgot that he can look like a normal person. I'm referring to an alt art version of Lear that was in Forgotten Realms and what was that from? Innistrad, that's right. Midnight Hunt, right?
Yeah. I don't know why, but it is. I mean, it's just Dr. Doom.
It's undeniably Dr. Doom for like no reason at all. Like it's weird. It's fucking weird, man.
I do have that in my Swole Wizards, and when he's on the battlefield, it does go off, but that deck gets shut down pretty easily.
Yeah, that's also like you have counter spells in that deck, so it kind of like spells can't be countered is for everyone, not just you.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a nombo in that case, but he's not the commander, so.
Right. I love the include a wander in here because I just think it's really funny to mill it and then suddenly all your creatures have flying. And I don't know why.
What the fuck? Yeah, I stole that from another deck that I saw. Hold on, I have it here somewhere.
Piece of candy. Can you tell me the name of your deck really quick?
Hold on. Okay, first, Joe Booster on Moxfield was one of the higher, like, rated ones or viewed or whatever. So I stole Wonder from that list. Yeah, the name of the deck is Behold My Gamer Goo.
Oh God.
Which viewer, Easton, if you don't know, I talk about my gamer goo a lot. It was probably funny the first time, and now it's just annoying, but I'm gonna keep talking about it.
Now it's just true. It's not like anything other than that. It just is a fact.
Whenever I'm like talking about breaking in new sleeves, I'm like, yeah, I got to get my gamer goo all over them so that they don't slide around so much.
But I don't even notice, I don't even notice it because it is true. We all have to get our gamer goo on the cards so they don't slide around as much because it's a necessity. Like everyone goes, yeah, my goo. Like you have to get it on.
Yes. But yeah, I think that it'll be fun. We've got, like you said, other people definitely building Slime Against Humanity decks. So I need to get this together so that I can destroy them.
Yeah, I'm gonna slowly build my Katoze deck and just unveil it the moment you guys try and play your brand new decks.
That's actually would be really funny if we're all playing it too. Yeah. Anyway, shall we move on to the sideboard?
Oh yeah, I'm prepared. Cool.
Okay, well, the sideboard is when we talk about whatever we want. So, you got anything? You want me to go?
Do I have anything? Yeah, I have one thing to say for the sideboard, and it's, I don't know if you guys have seen this like really, really good trilogy directed by this like New Zealand director.
Oh, yeah, that guy that did all the weird horror movies?
Yeah, his name's Petey Flaxen or whatever. And
Petey Flaccid.
I believe the movies are called this trilogy is called Lord of the Rings, but the first one is The Fellowship of the Ring, and if you've never seen those movies, you should probably just go watch them right now.
You should, yeah. I mean, leave this on, just like mute us, and actually put it on loop, and then also go watch that.
Yes, because they're very good. I don't know what else to say. They're just like, every time I watch them, I get more emotional watching them.
Dude, I fucking same. I watched them like a couple months ago, and I felt things I had never felt before, and I've seen those movies a million times. So,
oh yeah, if you I know that's the crazy thing, right? I'm like, I see this movie so many times, and now I hear to death, and I go death. That's so metal, man. Oh my god, that shit is crazy. It's holy fuck. Like, you don't even. It is one of the only trilogies based on a book thing I've ever heard of, where people that have read the books are like, yeah, you probably don't even need to read these. You can just go watch the fucking movies, man.
Like,
they're
it's pretty good.
They're really good. So that's what I got. I mean, go watch fucking Lord of the Rings again. And I know everyone here is, all you little fucking nerds are like, oh boy, I got bullied into watching Lord of the Rings again. Oh darn.
Oh no, don't make me watch Lord of the Rings.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm gonna hate it. Hand me my diaper.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
So what you got?
I've got basically, been playing a lot of fucking Baldur's Gate still. There were a couple months that I kind of took off. I wasn't playing it. Got back into it, and I looked at my Steam stats, and I put in 20 hours in the past 2 weeks. So
that's a part-time job.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good game. It gets a little rough in Act 3. There are some parts that I got a little bit frustrated at, but overall, it's a good game. And oh my god, it's so good in multiplayer. Yeah, just like messing around with friends. It's like messing around in D&D with friends. I mean, as close as you can get, pretty much.
Right, but you don't have to look at each other or talk to each other, and you can just do it on a computer.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And you don't have to like split the DM's attention between different things if you like split the party or whatever.
Right.
Go play Baldur's Gate.
It's pretty good.
Oh, dude, I made burgers for dinner, and that burp just tastes like garlic.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Anyway, that's all we got. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, what the fuck is wrong with you? If you want to find us in other places, we're on Instagram, Untapped, YouTube. If you're not listening to it on YouTube, the majority of people do. And technically we have a Twitter, but I haven't really updated it. We're all just Magic on Tap on all of those. I think that you can find us if you just search for that.
Cool. Well.
Oh, also, I meant to say this earlier. We had a whole 2 people on YouTube post comments asking when we were coming back. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Shout out to you 2 specifically.
I'm thinking I'm back.
I don't watch my video, so I would love to call you guys out and thank you, but I can't, so Jack will be in charge of that.
All chip damage was one of them. And Isaac Johnson. So shout out to Isaac. Fucking, I love you, man. Kiss me.
Yeah. Also, shout out to All Chip Damage. That's another person that said things that were nice. And your name's hilarious.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for listening.
Yeah, and stand aside, nobodies.